Blah, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Aha, just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Chi. And by the way, guys, I just published a book out on Amazon. It's called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to 5 adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very special guest. I had to bring her in the building, the one and only Erika.
Hey! No, I'm just kidding.
I like that. I like that. So, look, my friend, it's an honor to have you. I just want to give, so the fans to get to know more a little bit about you, how we met. So, ladies and gentlemen, I went to this global running event. It was like a 5K, and Red Rock Company, they were hosting it. And after the run, I'm not gonna lie, I was tired, out of breath. I was like, and I made it, but because it was so hot. But I noticed that one of my friends, we have a mutual friend named Kyle, DJ Prenup, and
Yes.
he was saying, "Oh, this is my friend." He's like, "You should talk to her. She's gonna have an event for running because I know you like running." I said, "Okay, cool." So after you guys were talking, it was what a small world. Like you guys went to the same school, and crazy, crazy stuff. So when we talk, right? I was like, hey, I heard about your running club that you want to do, like your big event. And I said, it's crazy. Like, that's amazing. You want to give back to the community. And I said, look, I would love to have you on my show. I have a podcast. And you're like, what's it about? I said, oh, snap. She hit me with the hard question. So I said, hey, I got to be ready. I said, well, it's about mental health, relationship, and faith. And you're like, I have so much to talk about. Like, honestly, I can share a lot about relationship. And
Yeah.
I said, well, what do you mean? You're like, well, I feel like myself, I'm growing. I'm doing a lot of stuff for myself. And I feel good. I said, that's amazing. You got to keep doing that. And you're like, yeah, I want to give back to the community for my birthday. I think it'll be a perfect time.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was my perspective. It was amazing. Your energy, just your personality. What about you? What do you remember that night? If you could take us back?
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. We were connected. I did go to college with Prenup. So it's been a long time since we've been friends. And I just think it's really great that, you know, he's very, hey, you need to meet this person, meet that person. Like, he's very giving like that. He also is very involved in the community. And you're the one that came up to me to say hi. And I thought that was like very cool that you're just also putting yourself out there, that what matters most to you is making connections. And that also matters most to me. Because you never know who you're going to speak to. And so it's all about just allowing yourself to be authentic in all situations, you know? And the right people will always find you. And so I think it's really cool that you did come up and you were asking questions about what's going on. And I think that just goes to show how people view, me and my aura. And I think that you're feeling the same thing. And so it's very humbling that people get that essence from me. And it's so great to speak with you. And like, we had a really good in-depth conversation, like about your podcast, about life, about relationships. And to be honest, I'm also getting much deeper into my faith. And I think that's why I'm feeling such a calling that I need to do something more purposeful for my birthday this year. I want to give back. There has to be more meaning to then just doing another dinner, another brunch. Like, that stuff is fun, but it's tried and true, and it doesn't do anything. It's not fulfilling. So I'm here to live more of a purpose and to help people feel the same way. I want to create an environment where more people can meet the way that you and I have met, you know? And that's what it's all about. Also,
Yeah.
the rainbow. Do you remember the rainbow?
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like,
That was insane.
crazy. You're like, hey, can you take a picture? I'm like, yeah, I got you directed. And I
Yes.
was like, yes. It was so
That was
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
background, it was just amazing just to see that, and it was raining and
Hmm.
So it was like
It
both.
was hot. Yeah, exactly. It was both. It was hot, but it was raining, and then it was like storming, but there were no clouds. It was crazy.
Wild night. And real quick, and I thought that was really kind of you, the words you shared about me. You know, I appreciate you, and I want you to also share about like what made you wanting to do this event. I know you were talking about giving back, right? About rescues, right? Helping rescue
Yes.
animals. Can you go a little deeper? I know there's like a deeper
Sure.
thing behind it, if you can
Yeah.
share.
So the whole purpose of it is on the 20th of last month, I lost my rescue dog. And um, I had her for only 8 years because I rescued her when she was about 2 or 3. The timeline is a little fuzzy. We didn't really know how old she was, but that dog changed my life. She got me through some really intense periods of life that I honestly don't know if I would have made it without her. And I want people to understand how life changing it can be to have a dog that is your soul dog. And rescue dogs come from, they just need to be loved. They just need love. They're not bad dogs. They don't act out. They're scared and they've been traumatized and they they just want a loving home. And the fact that I noticed immediately a change in her behavior right away after I rescued her into the beautiful dog that everyone loved, Tekna. That was her name. Tekna was someone that she was friendly with everyone. Everyone would see her, and I'd take her to the office with me sometimes because my office had like a pet policy where we were allowed to. And she became the office dog. She became the dog that everyone wanted to be around, play fetch with, feed. She would like do tricks with them. That dog was the most loving animal I've ever had and I've ever seen. You know, she was always on her best behavior. When we would go on walks, she would like I trained her to be off leash as well. And that's another thing is rescue dogs can be trained even when they're older. It's a common misconception that you have to get a puppy in order to train them, and that's not true. And so I just want to give an opportunity for more animals to be rescued. A lot of people have this conception that, oh, you know, my house is too small or I work too many hours. And a dog would rather, like, sitting in your house for 8 hours a day is better than sitting in a shelter for the rest of their life and
Oh,
not being loved. Sitting, you know, getting those time in the morning and the time at night, my job changed. I couldn't take her to work anymore. I'm very blessed with the job that I do have now and where my career is going, but my I started to feel very guilty also. It's mom guilt or dad guilt if you're a dad dog, you know, or a dog dad. um, but you do, that's just comes very natural. And I had to keep reminding myself that she still was having a better life than if I would have left her be on the street. But those mornings and nights were the most precious times of my life for the last year that I got to spend those with her. And I think that's like the hardest part that I'm still learning to grieve. But it's a beautiful thing to adopt an animal and how much they can change your life and how much you change theirs. So that's the intention behind this and why I want to do something with more purpose. So really, this is dedicated to her, you
wow.
know?
That's
And the amount of love that I've received from all of my friends and my old coworkers and just people who didn't even know me or her that would watch our stories and watch me run with her every day. And the amount of love and support that I received when she passed away just really touched me. And I want people to feel that same companionship.
wow. That's beautiful, man. I got the chills. I'm not gonna lie. I got the chills. I gotta
Thank
say,
you.
no, for real. This is a beautiful thing. I think that I could tell you have that big heart for dogs and like animals.
Mm,
Something this you might like this, but in Judaism, there's a part where we teach that there's a part where it says to love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and might. In Judaism, it also refers to if your neighbor or your friend is let's say he's sad, maybe he lost his
mhm,
job, maybe he lost his partner, maybe he lost his best friend. showing God that you love him with all your heart, you actually, if you let your neighbor or friend borrow your animal, your dog or cat, that will
Mm,
actually cheer up that person. And because this dog is valuable to you, right? It's your best friend, but you're letting your friend or neighbor borrow it so they can feel happy again, because right now they feel sad and
that's
hurt.
beautiful.
And I love that because a lot of people be like, nah, that's my dog, I can't. No, but
Yeah.
give it a little bit and you're gonna see the transformation. That person's gonna
Mhm.
can't wait to go home. This random dog that doesn't even know him like that is gonna be like like ready to,
Yeah.
play. I think that's beautiful. I don't
It's
know that,
beautiful.
right? It's a little deep. So
Yeah.
I wanted to share that. And I have another story you're gonna love. So back in
Okay.
Chicago, I used to live like in this little community, well, maybe a block away, there was this crack house. And there's this dog that was a little chihuahua, all white. And I saw the dog was always hungry or thirsty, and it was super
Mm.
hot outside. And I
Yeah.
said, man, I gotta do something. And all these guys that live there, they look like they were in heavy drugs. So I was like,
Mm.
I gotta save this dog. I couldn't take it no more. So what I
Yeah.
did was I actually opened the gate and I took the dog and I was like, you're coming with me. So the dog's with me running. I go
Oh my
to
gosh.
yeah, it's crazy. I go to Chicago Pathway. It's like a organization to help dogs that are rescue or if you need
Yeah.
like medicine or anything. So I went to them. I said, "Hey, look, I got this dog. I just stole it." I told them the whole story. Oh, you're really
You
brave. Like,
probably, yeah,
oh
you
yeah,
saved that dog's life though.
yeah, yeah. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did." I'm like, "Yeah, I got to do something." I said, "The little
Yeah.
ghetto in me came out, so I had to do something."
I
So
would do the same, honestly.
right, so they give the shots and everything. And I said, "How much is gonna be?" Right? They're like, "Don't worry about it. You did something really good. We'll cover the cost, so don't worry. Just
Oh,
take care of the
good.
dog." I said, "I got you." So you're not gonna believe this, but I actually named the dog Coco because it reminds me of the
Oh.
song "I'm in love with the Coco." So it was just perfect for it. But um,
Yeah.
that's one thing I wanted to share with you. Any thoughts from the stories I shared with you?
I love that. That's really great. And I think like there's so many situations where you don't know if you have the authority to like save an animal, but did you know they actually passed a law in Las Vegas? I think it got passed. They're announcing it today, so I don't know when it passed. But today they've announced that it is now legal to break a car window if an animal is inside because of the extreme heat so that you can save the animal's life.
Whoa.
So, yes, and that's massive for Vegas. Animals die all the time because people leave their dogs in their car or whatever the case may be. And instantly it overheats because of how obviously we're getting up to 115. So in the car, it's like 150 degrees. And so it's now legal to break a window so you can save the animal's life, which is a
Wow.
huge move.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're moving up. We're moving up.
Moving up is happening. We're actually making it be a better community. We're actually valuing animals a lot more than before nothing would happen.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the animal, sadly, that was tortured. I can't remember the name of the dog, but someone in your comments is going to talk about it. But they made a law that it's now like a felony for animal abuse.
Whoa.
Hmm.
That's
So
good.
it's really great.
Man, we need it because people are just so
Yeah,
bad. Like some people are just they just don't care. It's so sad.
right.
And they're so
So
innocent.
Techno was actually found in a backyard. She was found in a backyard of some a neighbor's boyfriend was buying a house. And when he was moving into the house, there were dogs abandoned in the backyard. And they were Techna ended up being pregnant by one of those dogs, but she was extremely like emaciated. She was very, very, very skinny, like malnourished. She had bite marks and like attack marks all over her face. And so she just grew up, and he doesn't, when he rescued her, he doesn't think that she ever went inside. She was like always scared to be inside. Um, and he is the one that saved her life, and he was going to take her to a shelter, but he didn't have the heart to do it because there weren't a lot of rescues that were like no kill. You know, there's a lot of shelters that we have that are unfortunately allow euthanasia, but there's only so much that they can do because they're trying to rescue so many animals. So I'm working with by the way, Vegas Roots Rescue. They help rehome animals, cats and dogs, and especially pregnant dogs. They'll take in the pregnant dog because a lot of times shelters either won't because they won't be able to rehome, or they put them on the euthanasia list because they don't want to create more puppies. So Vegas Roots Rescue will adopt and take in the pregnant moms, and then they rehome all the puppies. And
Whoa.
so I think that's really special because Techno was given a chance and she was the best thing in the world. And those moms deserve a good life too, just because they were, you know, they were pregnant. They don't deserve to lose their lives over that.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. That's
yeah.
beautiful. I have to share this. You're gonna love this. This you just made me think about this, but there's a thing that I have to bring up animals, but in Judaism, there's a thing about turtle doves. And what's
Hmm.
crazy is that if the partner passes away, that bird will stay loyal and not or find another mate because that
Hmm.
partner was so special. And I think that's
Right.
deep because
It is.
we nowadays, it's sad, but when it comes down to relationship, when people
Hmm.
just break up, right, or get divorced, right away
Hmm.
they move to the next person next week.
Next thing, the next thing.
Right. And you didn't give your time to heal. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I think
Yep.
it's all about taking that time for yourself,
Yep.
whether it's go to the movies by yourself, get that popcorn with extra butter in the stomach, you know what I'm saying? Get a nice dinner, do something that's
Yeah.
gonna, bring you whole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's something I wanted to share because I remember you were like, "Yo, I have
Yeah.
so much to share about relationship." I
Yeah.
said, "Girl, spill the beans."
Yeah. No, I mean, you're touched on it. I was that person. I'm in a place in my life where I'm finally listening to the rest. I'm listening to God's calling that I need to just be still and be still to hear his voice and hear my purpose. And I was the person that jumped from relationship to relationship, or I mean, I was in a really long term relationship. And then after that, I was like jumping from thing to thing, filling my time. And it wasn't because it was out of me being afraid to be alone. That was never the case. It was because, oh, but I'm going to learn something from this person. And this person is teaching me that. And this person, yes, that's all true. And I do take it, it was all very valuable. They were all very good people. Um, I do cherish all the times that I did have, but inside I still had a war within myself that I never really felt like I could be at peace because I didn't give myself that chance to just be still and heal. And I was healing through people because I was learning lessons through them, like I said, but this is more profound than any other time. I think that I'm finally coming to peace of like not feeling that war within myself anymore. That the timing will be right when it's the right, when it's the right time, I'll know when to jump back in and go for it again. But for now, I'm learning so much more about myself, and it's coming with a lot of grief. I mean, I'm going through actual grief of losing my dog, and then I'm also going through the grief of shedding all of those old thought processes and shedding all of those old things that I've experienced in my life so I can step into something new. Like I'm going through a huge ego death right now and very it's challenging, and there's mourning, but there's also grace and beauty, and not every day is easy. not every hour is easy, you know, it comes in fluctuations, but it has to be part of the process. And there's so much power in knowing when you need to rest and take a step back and just be still and just be still, but make moves. That's the biggest thing. It's like things aren't going to come to you if you're just sitting around doing nothing. You have to be taking action still, but you need to remove distractions and learn how to be with yourself in a way that you've never been before. So that way you can actually change your life.
Ooh, ooh, I love that. Oh, that was deep. So look, I gotta say, this is crazy, but when you're discovering yourself, learning new things, something that helped me, right? Like when I have a conversation with my barber, he's been married
Mm-hmm.
for like over, I think like 15 or 20 years. And I love hearing from people that are married too, because you get to
Yeah.
hear a different perspective and you're like, I want to get married too. So I'm like,
Yeah.
give me some spills. And I love what he said. He's like, brother, when you're in your car or when you wake up, pray to God that he helps
Yes.
you find that right person for you. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
even like say that God, if she's going through something, help her find that peace because I know
Mm-hmm.
you will bring it to her. And I love that. And even when I'm cooking, I love cooking. So when I'm cooking, I always cook, right? But I always make big pots. And when I'm cooking, have my little music, I was like, man, my wife, when she comes over, she gonna love this. See what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I just,
exactly.
I feel like if you put that in your mind and you manifest, the
Yeah.
universe will prepare you.
That's it. It's preparation. It's a preparation season.
Yeah,
You have to look at it as not, you're not being held back, you're being prepared.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. And then look at this. This is another thing I do. This is crazy. So every Tuesday night, you're more than welcome to come, by the way. So every Tuesday, I have like this week is gonna be tomorrow, like a men's group, right? And all my friends are
Mhm.
married. They're either married or engaged. I'm like the last survivor. I haven't got married yet. So we're all together and I share a little lesson about life and maybe a quote. And we all kind of like vent and share our experience and where we
Mhm.
want to grow. Because, guys, we have a problem with expressing ourselves
Yeah.
and opening up because we're always taught,
Yeah.
you're a man, suck it up, you'll get over it.
Hmm.
But it's not good because we hold it.
Right.
And, and then every other week, I call it remix. So we have men and women come
Nice.
together. Of course, I'm throwing down food. So I have a lot of people come and it's nice because now you get two different perspective of life.
Yeah.
So the women get to share their thoughts and the men, and it's nice because they get to bring their partners too.
Hmm.
But it's just so nice to have a collective group where people get to be free. And I love
Yeah.
that at the end, they leave happy. They're like, man, this felt good. I said, that's what you needed, brother. And I'm
Yeah.
all about that. Like, what can I do to bring people more either closer to their faith,
Hmm.
mental health, whatever it is? I think that people need that.
They do. They definitely do. And I think that you're right that men don't talk about their feelings. This is the thing that I feel like this is commonly said, but we pick up the phone and we vent about everything. Like, and I'm very guilty of it. I am someone who, bless my best friends, because the amount of times they've heard me talk about the same thing over and over and over, and yet they still show up for me every single time. They are the foundation to help me get through everything, and I do the same for them. And I don't think that men do that for each other. Like they don't allow themselves to be vulnerable, and it's something that I mean, even with some of my exes that I've helped be like, hey, like it's okay. You can talk about this. You can lean on me, you know? And something that I found very beautiful was that by the end of, even though they weren't the right people for me long term, by the end of the relationship, they were able to be more vulnerable, period. with themselves, their friends. They were picking up the phone and calling their friends to be like, "Hey, let's have a real conversation." And I just thought, I think they need examples. People need examples. And so someone like you who knows how to be vulnerable and have deep conversations, you're helping set the example for others and giving them the courage to do the same in their own lives. And that, I feel like that's where you and I are very similar,
Yeah.
is that we like, it's about creating safe spaces for people, because maybe their past has taught them like it's not okay to talk about that, or they're going to get lashed out at afterwards, or maybe they were in toxic scenarios, whatever the case may be, or they were invalidated. Oh, don't worry about it, your feelings, like, you're just going to get over it. That's not okay. And so it's really great that you're doing that for your circle as well.
Thank you, girl. It's just wild how people change. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that just seeing you do different things. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped drinking for 7 months just to lose weight.
Amazing.
I don't have an addiction or anything, but I just did it because I was
I'm
like,
not drinking right now either because it feels good, like genuinely. But please continue.
whoa, that's so dope. I'm happy to hear that. I love that. And it's crazy because I see the world different. Like,
Yeah.
you can right away see if someone's really hammered, or they're like, they can smell the alcohol, and it's kind of like,
Hmm.
yo, he's doing too
It
much.
gives you the ick a little now.
Yeah, yeah. It just doesn't
Yeah.
seem, I guess it just doesn't seem right. Um,
Hmm.
and so now that I've been so strict, right? My friends are even like putting to themselves like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop drinking for a whole year because you motivated me. Like, if you could do it, I'm gonna actually try it." I said, "Man, that's a beautiful
That's
thing."
beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Last week, I went to this party, right? And my friend, like, anything you give, he was gonna donate to charity. It was a beautiful, like a birthday slash, charity.
Yeah.
And I found this couple sitting down by themselves. Everyone was drinking, taking shots. I said, you know what? I'm gonna sit next to them. I sat next to them, and I found out that they don't drink. I said,
That's
yo, this
awesome.
this is wild. I said, we clicked right away. His
Yeah.
tattoo said August 10, I think 2024. And I said, bro,
Yeah.
that's my birthday, August 10. He goes, no way. He's like, yeah, I stopped for a whole year. I said, brother, we're
That's
connected.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Look at
know,
that alignment.
isn't
And
that?
that's the thing that we're talking about, is that, like, when you're authentically yourself, you will come, like, the right people will come to you and you'll find alignment. You'll find out in the wild, you will find the right people that are matching the energy that you're also putting out there
Yeah,
and the intentions. Yeah. That's beautiful.
thank you.
I stopped drinking. I go through phases for a couple years now. I'll go through stints of like not drinking alcohol at all. I used to compete and in high rocks or like hybrid sports. So I didn't like drinking because it would always mess up my training cycles. And it's just like, you can't really put your body through doing both, you know? But then I went through a phase of, because I took a new job. It's a very social job. I was like nervous in situations. I was like, I need a little courage so I can interact with this whole new network I'm building. Um, but now I'm at a point where like I'm done. I cut it off and it feels good. And it's the same thing. You see life differently. You carry yourself differently. Then you don't want to really be in scenarios where everyone's messed up because you're like, this isn't for me. This doesn't align with who I am anymore. And like, I think it's great. Have fun. Life is meant to be fun, but it's, I have a big personality. So I realize I can have just as much fun and I'm just as talkative. I dance just as much without it, you know?
Wow.
And I think it's very similar. It's really cool that you've inspired your friends. And I've found the same within my circle, that I'm just sticking to the things that I know and I love, which is like running and drinking less alcohol and getting deeper in my faith. And like, how if you just stay on your own path, how much you influence people without even talking about it, but you can start seeing you're influencing people around you, you
Man,
know?
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
very
it.
cool.
That's a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
thing. So look, real quick, it looks like Zoom's about to kick us out, but if you can
All right.
share your
Yes.
event, please, please.
Okay. June 28th, Saturday morning, starts at 7:30 a.m. It's going to be outside of Cafe Lola. There's a park right next to it, Cafe Lola on Rainbow. So we're going to start the run at 7:30. It's a 5K run or walk. And then at 8 a.m., music starts inside Cafe Lola. We're going to have a house and techno after party. It's going to be thrown by Spin City. And all of the proceeds from the run, it's a $20 buy-in for the run. All of those proceeds are going to Vegas Roots Rescue. If you buy anything inside of Cafe Lola, there is a flyer that I will be sharing on my platform. Perhaps you can put it in the comments. The flyer, you show that at checkout at Cafe Lola, and 20% of your purchase will also go to Vegas Roots Rescue. So we're going to hit it in two different ways. We're going to have really good music. They have really good food and coffee inside of there.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey guys, you gotta go. I just signed up too, by the way. So, um,
Yes, thank you.
of course, of course. So, guys, you know it. This is the Outlet to Reality, the Holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat's Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And Erica, where can my fans find you?
My Instagram handle is Airy Berry, ERIEBERRIE.